of education. With an unwavering commitment to fostering a brighter future, VidyaDaan Foundation is at the forefront of providing high quality education in India, thereby enabling disadvantaged children to unlock their potential to enhance the quality of education. It also conducts teachers training programs. In the past, under the In-Service Skills Enhancement Program, which is popularly known as ISEP, we take pride when we say that we have successfully trained over 18,000 teachers. We all know that the National Education Policy emphasizes on continuous professional development, that is CPD, of educators. Each teacher is expected to participate in at least 50 hours of CPD opportunities every year. Now we have resumed this in-service skills enhancement program, popularly called, as I said, ISEP, and it is going to be an ongoing one on every Saturdays. We shall have a session at 5 p.m. and it will continue 6 till 6 p.m. And our speakers are all eminent educators who are sharing their expertise with us on various relevant and pressing topics for us as educators. Point to be noted is that the educators who successfully attend this program at the end receive the valid e-certificate which states you have completed a 1 hour of a training session. I will briefly inform you of the process here. Kindly note it down and pay attention to it. After the presentation of the speaker, we are going to share a questionnaire that is going to be based on today's content and the presentation. The person who gets a score of 7 is eligible for an e-certificate. Please note that the Google link, as we know it as a Google form, is to be filled before you leave this meeting. In case you want the e-certificate, you will have to pay a very small amount, 100 rupees, and you're going to receive your e-certificate via WhatsApp within 7 working days. Coming to the session, I would like to introduce our speaker to all of you. Our expert today is Miss Sadhana Sharma, who is actually known to me as well. And I'm so happy to see her on the screen here. Highly skilled and dynamic visionary, leader, focused educational leader, and a speaker. She has a lot of expertise. She trains, she has been conducting sessions for students and teachers, co-team member of Paper Setter with CBSE and CUET, taking the webinar on National Credit Framework as well as NEP, also on integrating learning on holistic report card. I know ma'am when she was a principal of DAV school, is a story long time back, 7 years back. She has more than 7 years of experience as a principal in different CBSE schools, and she's honored by Central Law Minister Mr. H.R. Bhardwaj and is awarded Arya Pradeshik Pratidini of UP Sabha. Sadhana ma'am has received appreciation from none other than Smriti Irani, as was the Minister of Human Resource Development. She is also awarded an honor by Krishna Engineering College in the Principal's Conclave and also awarded honor by Mewar Institute of Engineering for they have recognized her contribution in the cause of education. Congratulations, ma'am. It has been a real great journey of yours. And now the stage is all yours. I would only let the viewers know that if you think that you are interested to know the answer of any area which she is actually presenting in front of you, we will be here to address to your queries. Kindly put in your questions in the chat box. And in the end of the session, ma'am is going to answer to your all the queries. Over to ma'am. The stage is all yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am Mayuri. It's a great privilege and the honor that I am presenting my presentation in front of you. You really, I am very happy and little bit nervous, ma'am. So, so thank you so much, Mary ma'am. Radha, you are my elder sister, and you always treat me like a younger sister. So I'm very thankful to God Almighty also, and thank you very much for it. Let's,
It was a surprise indeed for you.
yes. Mhm. Is it?
Are you facing any problem, ma'am?
I
I
think
think, ma'am, man can take over in presenting your PPT.
no, no. I'm presenting, ma'am. Wait a while. I'm getting it. Is the screen is visible? Screen is visible. Mary, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. The screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mayuri ma'am, for your warm introduction. I truly appreciate your words. I am honored to be here with all of you today and share my insight on Bloom's taxonomy. Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Is it visible? Ma'am, screen is visible?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, let's start. Today's topic is Bloom's taxonomy. The Bloom's taxonomy is the framework created by Benjamin Bloom in 1956 to classify educational learning objectives. It helps educators to create structured and effective lesson plans. Bloom's taxonomy attempts to classify learning stages for remembering facts to creating new idea based on the acquired knowledge. The idea of Bloom's taxonomy is that learning is consecutive process. Before applying a concept in real life, we must understand it. Before we understand a concept, we must remember it, the key fact related to it. A Bloom taxonomy is divided learning objective into three broad domains: cognitive, that is knowledge-based learning; affective, that is emotional-based learning; and psychomotor, that is action-based learning, with hierarchy of skills and abilities. We can remember it with 3H: head, heart, and hand. The purpose of Bloom taxonomy is to aid in developing critical thinking and provides a clear pathway from basic knowledge to advanced evaluation. The cognitive domain is the most widely recognized component of the taxonomy. Let's have a brief overview of the original Bloom's taxonomy, 1956, which is divided into 6 levels: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Though it was designed initially for college professor, it finally became popular among the educator, from K-12 teachers to corporate trainers. To provide learners with clearer instructional goals, a group of researchers led by Bloom's colleague, David Cartwell, and one of the Bloom student, Lauren Anderson, revised the taxonomy in 2001. The new variant, now, there is not much difference in the old variant and the new variant. The new variant, nouns were replaced by action verbs. Also, the 2 highest level of taxonomy were swapped into the new one. That is, the 6th one is swapped into the 5th one, and the 5th one is swapped into the 6th one. The new learning stages are remember, rather I can say in terms of verbs: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Their goals was to provide teachers with the common vocabulary and discuss curricular and evaluation problems with a greater precision. Let's have an overview and closer look at each learning stage on the revised framework. The first one is remembering. Remembering, that is recalling basic facts, which focuses on the recall or retrieved of information. This stage of learning is about memorizing basic facts, dates, events, person, places, concepts, and patterns. Keywords are define, identify, describe, recognize, explain, etc. For example, if I'm giving the live example of the classroom, let's class 6 teacher is teaching the 3 states of matter. What she should do, he or she should do, he might be able to list the means he was first of all he explain the 3 states of matter, of course, solid, liquid, and gases. Then the physical property of the matter, that is solid have the definite shape and the volume, and liquid don't have the definite shape but have the definite volume, and the gases neither have the definite shape nor the volume. At this level, teachers, you can understand that this level of learning is the student only remember it, take the notes and remember it. Some other example, in the biology, student might be able to list the order of classifying organism. One example I can give you for the geography also, that the geography teacher can explain and define the symbols of on the map. Say, if we want to show highway on the map, that should be 2 parallel lines filled with the yellow colors. And if major road is shown, that is the 2 parallel lines filled with the brown color. Similarly, sidelines, similarly river, which can be shown with the 2 parallel lines filled with the blue color, and so many symbols like temple, church, hospital, court, etc. Means everything is in the knowledge base or the remember base. Say, for example, the physical education teacher has to show how to shoot a free ball throw. Computer teacher can identify how to search information online. Some of the activities which I want to tell you in the classroom, that the teacher can create a quiz, and with the help of the quiz, the teacher can make the students to remember the things which he or she wants to learn. Classroom tips, and for that, the classroom tips which the teacher can use, the flashcard can be made, memory games can be made to help the student to practice and recall. Now come to the second level of domain, that is understanding. Understanding, which gives the ideas and concepts. It focuses on the comprehension rather just recall. Understanding in which the learner move beyond the rote memorization, and teacher encourages learner to explain concept in their own words or interpret data or concepts. Here the student engage in organizing, translating, and generalizing information. The key verbs are summarize, interpret, classify, compare, contrast, etc. Now, I come back to the same example in the classroom, that is 3 states of matter. As the teacher have already introduced the 3 states of matter and its property also, what the teacher can do under the level of understanding, the teacher can write some states of matter on the blackboard, like ice, oil, air, water, oxygen, nitrogen, blackboard, chair, table, and so on, and tell the students to classify into the 3 states of matter. When the student able to classify from the list of all the matter which are written over the blackboard, then the teacher can means this is the proof that the student understand the topic taught by the teacher. Some more examples are, and look at the activity which can be done. Think, pair, share. that the teacher can ask the students to read the passage and discuss its main idea with the partner, or what the teacher can do. Teacher can make the small groups and read one passage in the English storybook and discuss the main idea. Then all the groups will discuss among themselves before sharing it with the class. And the tips for the teacher is use the concept maps or diagram to help the student visually to organize their understanding. Now the next level is applying, where the learner uses the prior knowledge in the new situation. Learner involves practicing a skill in a new context, or the student might provide advice in a given scenario. The key verbs are solve, change, relate, complete, etc. Learner can apply the knowledge of states of matter. Say, again, I'm taking the same example, that there's 3 states of matter, so that the teachers can understand that every teaching level, we have to use all the levels of the cognitive domain. Say, in the 3 states of matter, the learner can apply this knowledge by observing the change of state from ice to water, from water to steam. So the learner will see that the 3 states of matter with the same matter, that is water. Water can be converted into ice, water can be converted into steams or the gas. In English, the learner can use a rhetoric technique in a speech, apply the strategy in the new problems. In the science experiments, the learner can test out the different titration or any science practical. Or in the mathematics, I can give you the very good example that in the Pythagoras theorem, if the teacher make them understand the Pythagoras theorem, then the student can apply it to find the length of the triangle side. And the activity which can be done in the school, that can be in the real world problem, that teacher can give the student scenario where they must use the learned formula or concept, like calculating the area of garden plot in the school. The some tips for the teacher here, that incorporate role play or simulation where the student applies skill in real world context. Now the next level of learning, that is the 4th level of learning, is analyze. Analyze means draw connection among ideas, where students examine and break down information. Now it's a time to use learned information in a new related context, such as solving problem or executing tasks based on learning or the training or the scientific phenomena. Teachers here, the thing is, the teacher has already go for the 3 stage of the learning. In the 4th stage of the learning, now the learner draw the connection with the content which is already taught by the teacher. The key verbs are connect, relate, devise, analyze, and correlate. Say, for example, compare and contrast ideas or ideology, or make inferences, look for the trend in mathematical data, or find the evidence to support generalization. These are some of the live examples which can be taken in the classroom. Activity within the mathematics, we generally, the mathematics teacher teach Venn diagram. And the Venn diagram are very useful for each and every subject, even in the whether it is in the commerce, accounts, computers, everywhere it is used. So wherever the similarity and the differences between the two events is to be calculated, we can use the Venn diagram, so that activity can be done by the teacher. Or how to determine the validity of certain argument and conclusion, that can be also done with the help of the Venn diagram. What I want to say that with the help of the Venn diagram is of course the topic of the mathematics, but we can explain it, we can use it in each and every subject. Some of the classroom tips: educators should encourage students to ask why and how question to deepen their analytical thinking. Teachers, this is the main important thing, that we make the student free to ask why and how the question. Sometimes we irritate it, but we should not. Reason? Because even the new education policy to 2020 also emphasized over the critical thinking and analytical thinking as key skills for the students in 21st century. So we always encourage the student to ask the question. The fifth level for cognitive domain is evaluating. That is, justify a decision or viewpoint, where students defend opinion, make judgments, and assess information. What does it mean? That whatever the teacher taught, now this is the time to produce by the student. Student might rank invention for their impact on history, draw conclusion from an experiment, judge the validity of the data, or assesses the quality of a theater performance or work of art. Means whatever be the, whether in the artwork or in the theater work, means the student can analyze, evaluate himself or herself. The key verbs are compare, defend, evaluate, judge, support. For example, evaluate the effectiveness of renewable energy sources of reducing pollution. Say this is the one topic which is discussed in the classroom. So the activity, the educator can organize the classroom debate where the student must support or critique given viewpoint. And the classroom tip, that is the most important tip. Everybody knows that we are always at this end where we want to evaluate our teaching and evaluate the student also. Use rubrics and clear criteria for student to self-assessment or for the peer assessment or the teacher assessment of their work. There should be the clear rubrics should be there. And the last level of cognitive domain is create. That is, produce new or original work. Remember, teachers, here, whatever you have taught the students should create the new in the original work form. Or you can say this is the final level where the student generates something new based on prior knowledge. It might be a new idea, new solution, new system, or creating about combining elements in a novel ways, or is to generate something which is unique. That is the sixth level of the cognitive domain. The key verbs are arrange, assemble, create, organize, or design. Say, for example, live example for it is Create a storyboard for short film based on a given theme. What does it mean? Say, for example, if I am taking the example of, again, the 3 states of matter, we can tell the students to make a story. They can make one story. They can role play over it. They can make, and they can make a project over it. The project, say, for example, for class 6 student, they can make a very good project. They can take one balloon, fill it with the water, and keep it in the freezer of the refrigerator. When it is frozen, then take out the sleeve of the balloon. Then the student will get the solid state of water. After sometimes it becomes converted into the liquid state, that is water. And after putting on that solid ball of ice, if they put some salt, then they can see the melting point is changed. Or if they put a pressure on it, then they can see that the melting point is changed. In this way, they can create the something new. They can create a project which is something new, but based upon their previous knowledge. Activity, that is the project-based learning. The student should design the, say, for example, in case of the political science, the student should design the marketing plan for fictional project or invent a new game with its own rules in computer science. Some of the classroom tips are that educators should encourage learner brainstorming session and use tools like mind map, storyboard to support creative thinking. In the nutshell, what I wanted to explain you the cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy. It encourages the educator to help the students from simple memorization to higher order thinking. Teacher can help students to develop critical thinking. For example, I can take one example in which I can give you the example of all the 6 levels. Say, for example, the history teacher is there, and history teacher explain and instruct the student to memorize key dates of event. Means any date when India become independent, date of the Independence Day, date of the Republic Day, or any other. Then this comes under remembering. The next teacher might ask the student explain the cause of the event. That comes under understanding. Next, the student can apply this knowledge of these events can happen in the different ways in the different circumstances. That comes under applying. In the analyzing, the student can understand the various perspectives of the event. That comes under analyzing. And the student can evaluate the effect of the event in the current scenario. That comes under evaluating. Next, the last one is the creating, which is the most important part from the student level. So the student should make a project or the presentation for such event in a modern scenario. This is the first domain, that is cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy. Now come to the second domain, that is affective domain. As I told you, it is head, heart, and hand. So it is now come to the shaping heart and minds together. Affective domain means shaping hearts and mind together. Affective domain or affective version deals with the manner in which we deal with the things emotionally, such as feelings, appreciation, enthusiasm, motivation, attitude. Let's look of affective domain of taxonomy. Just like a cognitive domain, it is also represented as a triangle. Basic level starts from the bottom to the advanced level, subsequently reaching to the top, which is characterizing. Starting from receiving, responding, valuing, organization, characterizing, rather characterization by value set. I found that in place of characterizing, we should say the characterization by value set. When we take a learner, why it is so? Because it is related with the emotion. When we take a learner through a journey of education, we expect, first of all, he receives the knowledge, respond the values, and then organize it in their mind and bring into the character. That is the main motto of this domain. Let us see the first level of affective domain, which is receiving. At this level, learner will attend learning session. He'll only hear the session and be aware of what knowledge be imparted, and be willing to hear, be attentive and listen whatever the knowledge is being given by the instructor. For example, create a storyboard for a short film basis on kindness. Means such type of things. Receiving level of affective domain can be done during the assembly, during the morning assembly. Any teacher, any principal can give the talk about the motivation, or any can tell the motivational story about the kindness or about the teamwork or any topic related to the environment. So here the students will only listen it attentively, and within the classroom, when they come to the classroom, then that whatever be the story which is told during the assembly time, because that time is the important time in which we can touch the emotion of the child. So during the classroom, the teacher introduced the same topic, which is told in the, which is explained, or which is in the form of the story explained by the principal or by the teacher in the assembly time, or the new topic, say environmental conservation, and students show the awareness by listening attentively. And at this time, the teacher allowed the student to make the notes also. Next level is responding. That is active participation and taking interest. Clear means doing more than attending. In the first case, the student is only attending it, listening it, but now the time comes when the student has to do the work. At this level, the learner will be willing to respond, will be reacting, and at mental level be satisfied to respond the knowledge received by the learner. For example, the teacher can ask the student to discuss the thought on the recent news article about helping unprivileged and student unprivileged, or the teacher can ask about the kindness. The students enthusiastically share their perspective. Here, the teacher allowed the student to share their perspectives. Now, classroom activity, that of course, group discussion should be there on the kindness. And the students should actively participate by brainstorming and sharing example of act of kindness they have done or seen. Or during the group discussion, students can make the presentation. At this level, they are not only receiving the information, but responding at their own manner. Now, the third level is valuing. That is assigning worth and showing commitment. This is an advanced level in which the participant or the learner will not only receiving the information but responding to it also. She will be attached the sum of the values to the phenomena and strongly associated with the topic and demonstrate commitment to certain values. For example, after learning about the waste management, a student start segregating waste at homes and encouraging the peers to do the same. Classroom activity can be done. Students demonstrating their commitment to keeping the school premises clean. This is what the valuing the knowledge imparted. The improvement which is seen in the learner is not only for himself, but for social level too. So the value is the one level for effective domain. Now, the next level of effective domain is organizing or integrating values and prioritizing them. At this level, the learner who already value the knowledge being imparted will prioritize different values and resolve conflict arises in them. He or she will not prioritize the value himself, but also emphasize prioritization with other people also. For example, the student balances the time between academic work and monitoring juniors as a part of the peer counseling program, showing an internalized value of helping others. Or purpose is that whatever the value is taken by the student, he or she should organize it. Classroom activity can be done debate activity can be done in the classroom on the ethical dilemmas. Students articulate their values and resolve conflicts, their values and between fairness and loyalty. The last one is characterization. Characterizing, rather, I can say it is characterization by value set. Because at this level, the student understood the value of knowledge. So, this is the time when consistently exhibit internalized values. At this level, learner will completely internalize her values and behave in accordance and be predictable in her behavior and be supporting the values. Let the wisdom control his behavior. The learner will eventually absorb the knowledge in such a way to extent that it is typically shown in his behavior to demonstrate knowledge to the other people. What does it mean? Means after every domain of effective, every level of domain, the last one is how we make a character of the child. That is the most important thing, that whatever be the knowledge which teacher imparted to the learner, whether it is actually characterize it, or it changed the behavior of the child, that any conflict within himself or within the peer group, the child can solve it. That is the true learning, and that is the characterization by value set. Example, he displays consistently through the commitment towards the ethical practice of a values system. And some more example, the student consistently demonstrate honesty by owning up his mistake and encouraging peers to do the same during the group activities or any challenge or examination of a life. The classroom activity can be done after receiving the importance of environment conservation. A student who value environment conservation, say for example, the teacher has given the has taught the importance of environment conservation. The student who has done it very effectively, the teacher can make him leader for the eco club, and this is the responsibility of that leader to take the whole of his class or his peer group for different projects like tree planting and ensuring regular follow-ups for it. Now the question arises, what is the benefit of the affective domain? Because in the cognitive domain, yes, we have seen that whatever be the learning is taking place, that comes up to the create level. But affective domain is also one of the important part of the learning. It enhances the emotional intelligence. Means not only IQ is important, EQ is also important. Promote positive school culture. It promotes, there is a absolute, if the value is there, if the value is inculcated in the student, then of course the positive culture in the school will be started. Build lifelong skills like empathy and integrity. Now come to the third and the last domain of Bloom's taxonomy, that is psychomotor domain. As I told you, we are dealing with 3H, head, heart, and head. This is the time for hand or our psychomotor domain. Psychomotor domain, it has the objective to physical function, reflex action, or the body movement, to interpret information and learn the physical action, or it is a vehicle of cognitive growth and furthering knowledge of skills. The learner uses physical action to achieve cognitive and affective domain. Remember, teachers, without psychomotor, without the physical domain, the student is not able to achieve the cognitive level as well as the affective level. Let me explain more. That the emphasis on this version is more on motor skills. This domain of the taxonomy is to understand that how physical motion and physical action control and enhance the learning process. For example, after making a slide of cell, Say, I can give you the one example. For making a slide of the cell in a biology, student draw the structure of cell. Here, the intent of the student is not mastery over the drawing. What he want to show that with the physical way, or you can say drawing is the physical way to express what he or she observed in a microscope. It also have the levels, psychometer also have levels like affective and cognitive domain. It also have the 5 levels. The first is imitation. Imitation means copying, action after the observation. This level, the learner will directly copy the action seen, replicate what directed or observed. So there is a very little element of independence at this level. Learner directly copy what instructor do. For example, a student watch the teacher demonstrate how hold a cricket bat and imitates the stances and swing. As you know, during the stances, phase, leg and foot, one leg and foot support all the body weight. And during the swing, the other leg support the full body weight. So if after saying it, after explaining it, the student cannot understand it until and unless the teacher demonstrates it. And when the teacher demonstrates and the student copy it, that this state of learning is known as imitation. There are so many examples. You know, teachers, in most of the cases, we say that our teacher, first of all, demonstrate how to draw the basic shapes. Or yoga teacher, first of all, show the yoga poses, etc. So this is the first level of the psychomotor domain. The next level is manipulation. What is manipulation? It is practicing skill to improve proficiency. So whatever we have seen in imitation scale, domain, imitation level, that we have to practice this to do the proficiency. At this level, learner will reproduce activity either given by the instruction or by its memory. This is the high level in which the learner need not to be copied. For example, student practice cursive writing after being shown by the teacher, and after 2-3 times practicing, now he or she able to write cursive writing. Or any yoga pose can be done by practicing. So generally we told the students that do practice at home. So when they do practice at home, with their memory, they can produce that skill. This is known as manipulation. Classroom activity, that in the science lab, there's so many activities can be done. The teacher can make a simple electrical circuit after observing it and the demonstrating it. For the next day, the student can show it. Now, the third level of psychomotor domain is precision. That is performing skill accurately and independently. This level is more enhanced when learner cross these levels more convincingly. At this level, the learner will execute skill independently. For example, student plays a musical piece of piano with correct timing and rhythm after several practicing sessions. Classroom activity can be done. The teacher can take the students into the chemistry lab and the titration can be shown. And with the practice, the student accurately measuring and mixing the chemical to achieve the desired result. The next level is articulation. Articulation means combining skills to perform complex action. Articulation is the highest level in the version of taxonomy. At this level, the learner will adopt his expertise to complete a non-standard objectives. A learner complete the work independently. For example, student combines various yoga poses to perform a synchronized yoga routine during the physical education class. Classroom activity, robotics class can be done. Student integrate coding, mathematical assembling skills to program robot and follows the specific instruction. The next level is naturalization. Naturalization means mastering skills on an automatic and intuitive level. At this level, the learner will automation the unconsciously mastery over the skill. It is the highest level at which learner used its motor senses to replicate mastery. For example, the student type an essay on the computer without looking the keyboard, maintaining the speed and accuracy too. Classroom activity. During the physical education period, the drill, the student demonstrate flawless dribbling and shooting in basketball. So many activities can be done during the sports period, during the free period, during the zero period, during the PT period, and so on. So, what is the benefit of the psychomotor domain? It's active engagement in learning and develop fine and gross motor skills. Psychomotor domain learning by doing. Psychomotor learning prepares students for the real life challenging through hands-on experiences. Now, at the end, I want to say that this is the famous quote of Benjamin Franklin: tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. This is Benjamin Franklin says, tell me and I forget. This is, you can say, cognitive domain. Teach me and I remember, that is for affective domain. Involve me and I learn, that is for psychomotor domain. That is all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Sadhana, ma'am, it had been a very nice presentation of yours. And you have truly said what Benjamin had said. You have just showed the way to our teachers. And I would be just requesting my colleague to just see if there are any question and queries from any of the audience members who were there, and we will definitely answer the question. Meanwhile, I would also like to request the participants not to leave this meeting, and please kindly fill in your attendance and questionnaire link is shared. If you're really very interested to have the certificate based on this today's program, I would just request you that I told you earlier that you have to just pay a small token of 100 rupees. And this will be definitely posted to you through the mail ID, through your mail IDs, or definitely through the WhatsApp number which we are having within 7 working days. But make sure that you mention the topic and the session which you have attended, which will also help us. This is supposed to be the session number 025, and please mention the time. And thank you very much, ma'am. Though we had little bit of initial problems, but I think you are excused today because the session definitely went off very, very well. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. See you all next Saturday, same day, same time.